So this will be a nice, quick, unscripted video, but if you haven't heard yet, the major story beats for House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 8 just leaked, and it's not good. It's not good at all. I posted on social media about it, but I wanted to be able to put it out as a video too for those of you who haven't caught it, and I'll be going into mostly just the Daemon Alice Rivers storyline, because there's so much to unpack there, and long story short, it's not good, and showrunner Ryan Condal really needs to stop doing this one thing. So obviously, spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. So in the finale, we have Alice, who I guess is finally revealed as a green seer type of character. We knew that she was messing with Daemon's head, giving him visions and whatnot, but now it's confirmed when she has him touch the Weirwood in Harrenhal, he sees a vision of the future, and that of the White Walker threat and Daenerys, and oh my god, because he saw the White Walker threat and Daenerys and all that, that's when he reveals to Rhaenyra, who comes to see him, that, look, this is bigger than all of us, we gotta band together if we're to stop this threat, and they reconcile. This is so bad on so many levels. Before I go into why I think it's bad, if you disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm actually willing to make a second video on this, like outlining what you guys think. And of course, before I continue on, leave a like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already, all that good stuff for the algorithm, yada yada yada, love you guys. But my thoughts on this is that it ultimately ruins Daemon's character arc this season, because I was under the assumption that all of these visions were her attempt to set him straight or to fuck with him, but at the same time, she has like no control over the visions and unwittingly helped him to have some character development where he eventually realizes he's being a jerk and swear fealty to Rhaenyra. I figured this out back during my episode 3 review that this would be Daemon's arc. He's gonna have all these visions and it's gonna make him a nice guy at the very end when he eventually reconnects with Rhaenyra and swears fealty. However, based off these leaks and what we're going to get in episode 8, Daemon swears fealty and his loyalty only after he sees the visions of the White Walker threat and realizes that this is bigger than what's happening now, right? And he does eventually swear fealty to her when she comes to Harrenhal. So it removes his character development, because now we have to wonder if his original plan to take the throne himself and allow her by his side would have gone down had Alice not shown him that vision. We don't know anymore. Now he's just a slave to fate. This is something that we did record a whole podcast special on this, and this is something Preston goes into about fate and choice and how, this is something that George loves to dabble in. I personally don't care, but yeah. When I put out the podcast, you guys will get a more detailed explanation on what Preston thinks about this, but he's not wrong. I would rather Daemon just take the character development. All these visions of Viserys and Rhaenyra and young Rhaenyra and all this other stuff, that it felt like that didn't matter in helping him become a better person. This vision is the thing that does it ultimately. I don't like that. As for Alice Rivers, she's basically a non-nude Melisandre by being another witchy character that is a servant of a higher power. In this case, the Three-Eyed Raven, who is not even born yet, so she's preemptively, connected to that whole thing. And before any book fans come at me and say, well, it's a part of the Weirwood net and all that, yes, I understand that. But remember, the show hasn't really set up the Weirwood net like the books have. So this is all show-related. Right? Once again, Preston hates how this goes against everything George writes about in regards to fate and choice. I personally don't mind, but my issue here is mainly the dumb decision to do a callback to the White Walker plot in Game of Thrones when they need to steer away from that. Because not only did it not end well, but Game of Thrones Season 8 is lauded as one of the worst finales in the history of television, and yet they, for whatever reason, feel the need to constantly keep coming back to this lackluster storyline and this lackluster ending. Guys, once again, stop doing this. I was okay with the prophecy and the dagger in the pilot episode for Season 1. That was fine. But are you fucking kidding me? Stop showing the White Walkers. It was a really interesting mystery and threat in the earlier seasons of Thrones, but because of how it ended, nobody really cares. In fact, not only did people not really care about the White Walkers anymore after the end of season 8, but there was like a whole prequel around that thing, the Blood Moon prequel, right? And they scrapped it. No one who cares about the White Walker threat anymore when all it comes down to is that Bran becomes king and Arya kills the Night. Like, it doesn't matter. All of Westeros really doesn't unite against this threat. It's really just the Starks, some of the Essos Targaryen forces, kinda, and the Vale forces, and that's it. It really is just, no. It did not pan out that good. And showrunner Ryan Condal constantly coming back to this one thing. Dude, just stop. I think it's a mistake, but that's my opinion. I'll go into more detail on it, but the other thing I'm going to say real quick is if you're a Team Green fan, whew, you guys are not going to have a good finale. Oh my god, you guys are just not going to have a good time at all. Oh my god, just no. Yeah. And for those of you wondering, was there anything I liked about it? Seeing the Triarchy and Essos was cool. I like Essos scenes. I always enjoyed them in Game of Thrones. That was cool. What else can I talk about that I saw? By the way, this is unscripted, so I apologize if there's a lot of, like, random awkward pauses. What else did I go in that I saw that I liked? Helena is finally confirmed as a dreamer, which we all knew, but she's kind of like an Alice River-esque type of character. Not witchy, but she sees things, and she makes it very, 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 very clear that she can finally see things, so... And, of course, Helena has more than 3 minutes of screen time that's not traumatizing, so, yeah. And they finally talk about her dragon, Dreamfire, which I thought was cool, but... Yeah, and Alicent... in my last review, in my episode 7 review, I said how I don't understand how anyone keeps enjoying the Alicent scenes, because a majority of them are just kind of pointless. Once again, I'm probably not gonna change my mind on that on episode 8. Who knows? I only saw bits and pieces, by the way. Let me make that clear. So if seeing the full episode in HD quality may make me change my mind on Alicent when I see everything. However, I will say, it doesn't look like it. But if there's one thing I'm not going to change my mind on is how they fucked up Daemon's storyline with that whole vision. That they should not have done that. And Alice, I always liked her in the books being this one side character who's just crazy and mysterious and like has her own agenda. But no, she's working for a higher power now, and she's very much aware. It's almost meta in the sense, her commentary about the White Walker threat and where everyone stands on the board, you know? So... I was not a fan. It's just he needs to stop coming back to Game of Thrones. He does. Does he not realize that nobody liked the finale? No one liked season 8. Season 8, 5 years later, is still regarded as one of the worst television finales of all time. Not only that, but the first few seasons of Game of Thrones was so good that going back and rewatching them, and this is the sad reality of it, by the way, going back and rewatching the earlier seasons of Game of Thrones and trying to binge, like, the whole thing, is bittersweet because, wow, this is all so good, and then you realized, fuck, that ending, though. Damn it. And, yeah, that's... Oh, well, let me know what you guys think. Of course, if you disagree with me on what I told you in regards to Daemon and Alice, let me know why you disagree. I'm probably going to do another video, like, going into, you know, some of your guys' comments on the matter and, you know, doing a little debate with you guys how I normally do with the Q&A videos. And if you disagree or, you know, agree, let me know, as always. And, yeah, thank you so much for watching my rant, my unedited, unscripted rant. I appreciate it. Have a good one.